Hello, students. Welcome back to the Indian Economy Answer Writing series. As we have started this series couple of days before, we are covering the first chapter, basically the chapter on economic growth, development, and underdevelopment. So we'll be writing the fourth question's answer today. What is the question? Discuss how the recent changes in the socio-cultural aspects of India have shaped our growth. So I am basically trying to ask you how the changes in the socio-cultural landscape of our country has changed the dimension of economic growth. Very, very important. It is a combination of question from Indian society and Indian economy as well. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's get started. But one thing I want to tell all of you before I start is try to write along with me, or else if you do not have a pen and a paper when you are listening to this video, I suggest you to write the introduction. Say you don't have to write exactly in the examination the way I am writing. You try to develop your thoughts when I am writing along with me. Okay, so you can write the introduction, send it on the chat box and comment. I'll try to correct it. If any improvement is needed, I will tell. Otherwise we can continue to write the way you are writing. Okay, so let's get started. Discuss how the recent changes in the socio-cultural aspects of India have shaped our growth. See, one thing we all accept is the dimension of our growth has changed from 1991 onwards. When the economy got liberalized, the landscape of our growth has now become wider and wider. So now the question is asking how, discuss how the recent changes in the socio-cultural aspects of India have shaped our growth. Now, I will try to write the answer to this question in a very unique style. It is not the perfect style and it is not the only way to write the answer. I leave it to you how to write the answer, but just try to see how you can give a glimpse of the society or the economic dimensions of the society as you see it in the real world. Okay, so I will try to write the answer in that particular style. So I will say, today, when we visit a mall or a shopping complex or a shopping complex, the fact that most of the places oblique stores in the shopping mall are occupied by either phone or any digital store. This is nothing but a reflection of the changing dimensions of our economic growth, that is reflected in the form of these stores, right? Additionally, we also see more of foreign brands rather than Indian brands. This also showcases the increasing liking for foreign manufactured goods. So I told you I will write this answer in a different style than how I generally write. Now, this I have given an introduction. One, I am saying most of the stores are occupied by digital products. It means the shift from traditional products, be it clothing, be it regular consumer goods, it has shifted from there to more digital goods. This is one dimension. Second, earlier I was seeing only an Indian brand store. Now I am seeing more foreign goods. So the socio-cultural dimensions are shifting from making a choice between Indian good and a foreign good. It means now we are more what you call giving importance to the quality over the origin of production. So this is a socio-cultural change that is happening, because if you remember, India is a country where we also had instances of boycott the foreign goods, right? So you remember history part of your lecture. So that is how it is socio-cultural change in the dimension. Now, how it is showing up? Discuss how the recent changes have shaped our growth. Now, first and foremost important thing is, because this is a very wide question, so I would ask you to make a list of dimensions that you are planning to write about. Like I will write how the demographic dividend has shaped. This is one dimension. I would write about how the cultural landscape has changed. I will write about this. Then I will also write about, very very importantly, the changing social norms. I will write about what are the norms and how these social norms are now changing. We'll talk about that also at length. Then we'll talk about how the urbanization of the society or the economy is shaping our changing in the lifestyles, is changing our what you call the preferences. And also, very very importantly, we'll talk about technology adoption also we'll talk about. And last but not the least, we'll also talk about the growing what you call acceptance of entrepreneurship. So these are the dimensions that we'll talk about in this answer. Because this is a 250 words question, I have given 3 pages for writing the main body. Okay, 3 pages in my notepad will amount to 2 pages in your answer sheet. So exactly it will fit in that 250 words. Now, first, the demographic dividend. How the changing demographic dividend has shaped our economic growth. Now, we'll write here, while we consider demographic dividend as a macroeconomic indicator, we fail to read its impact on the economic growth, as the maximum percentage of population is in this age group, the economy makes an effort to supply goods and services demanded by this age group. This is very very important. The first dimension we have covered. Second, cultural landscape. We'll write, gone are the days when holidays of festivals were meant to go back to our roots. Here bracket mein you can write the rural areas from where we belonged. Now the youth makes, we can say, plan for ki jagah we can say, the youth makes travel plans to various destinations, thereby increasing the demand for tourism related economic activities. So this is how your economic growth is again here done. Now we can also say make a mention here, in the absence of local oblique favorable destinations, this population will even choose to fly abroad. Very, very important. Next is a changing social norms. What is a norm? We have studied in ethics, very important. A value that has been made to be followed without questioning it is becomes a norm, right? The changing norms in the society, the changing norms in the society, like adventurism, very, very important. When we talk about norms, one thing that we need to understand is that, one second, changing adventurism is one dimension. Like society is becoming more adventurous. The changing norms in the society, like adventurism, acceptance of women in the workforce, the concurrence to late night work culture has all contributed towards a particular way of economic growth. So what I am saying, how the norms are changing. One, it is becoming adventurous. That is how you have started getting so many adventure activity destinations. Second is the acceptance of women in the workforce has changed the dimensions of growth. It has only increased the capacity to grow. Third is very, very important, is primarily about the night work culture. It has also contributed towards the growth. So we are talking in all these parameters how these norms have affected the economic growth. We'll write one line here. Has all contributed towards a particular way of economic growth, primarily positive contribution. This is in number. Positive contribution in growth numbers. This is what we need to write. Growth numbers. After the norm, what we said? Urbanization. Very, very important. With growing urbanization, the economic activity is getting skewed, skewed towards urban clusters. So the growth is getting concentrated in the urban clusters. This necessitates improving communication architecture. This communication is not telephonic. It is basically related to movement. Communication infrastructure in the form of in the form of well-developed road networks, developed road, rail, and air networks becomes imperative, which is visible in the society with state of the art with the state of the art transport infrastructure, like specially designed fast trains like your Vande Bharat and all, and also increasing air traffic. So this is all reflected in the society, right? Then changing lifestyles and technology, will write what is this lifestyle that is changing. The increasing dependence on buying food from the market. This is also a reflection, comma, online shopping of fast moving consumer goods or daily consumables is nothing but an economic reflection of changing societal cultures. See how beautifully the answer shape is coming. Technology adaptation. Now, instead of dependence on family oblique society as an insurance, we now see technology has taken over this responsibility of protection and surveillance in the form of CCTVs, very beautiful, no? CCTV cameras, etc. Very, very important. Next, last but not the least, entrepreneurship. This changing landscape gave way to entrepreneurship as a business opportunity to the youth, to the young aspiring youth, that led to programs like Startup India, Skill India, Digital India, etc. Very beautifully explained. Lastly, what do we write in the conclusion? Very, very important, because it is asking how the recent changes. Now, we will write this in a way, as you can see, as we can witness a changing economic paradigm primarily influenced by the socio-cultural landscape, as we can witness, a changing economic paradigm primarily influenced by the socio-cultural landscape is redefining the prospects and the scope of economic growth. Okay, so what are we saying? It is playing such an important role in changing the prospects and the scope of economic growth. This, when combined with structural supportive changes by the government and regulatory bodies, can be a platform for catapulting our economic growth that can contribute immensely towards our goal of very, very important, achieving a 5 trillion economy. So that is how I said initially we'll start with the basic concept, then we'll try to link the basic concept with the what you call the current dimensions. So with this we have completed today's question. Because I was simultaneously explaining you while I was writing the answer, it took a little more time, but it will, if I have to write the answer without any explanation, around 11.5 to 12 minutes it will take. I suggest you also write, submit it in the comments box. If time permits, I'll surely look up it. I will go through it and I will drop my comments on that also. Thank you. Keep writing with me. It's just a matter of 10-15 minutes. I suggest every one of you who are preparing for mains this year or next year, spare the 10-15 minutes every day, as this video is getting uploaded at 8 p.m. in the evening. From 8 to 8:30 after your lunch or just after your dinner or just before your dinner, you can just put this 20-25 minutes, write an answer along with me and forget about it. Trust me, the GS paper 3, which is generally known to be a difficult paper, you will not face any difficulty whatsoever. So I am Major Oberoi signing off with all of you. Jai Hind.